What would you say playing Mahalia Jackson taught you about yourself?
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned playing Mahalia Jackson is to continue to let your dreams and your gifts make room for you. I feel like for the longest, believe it or not, and I know people won't believe it, but I have been very shy about my singing voice. And that's something that I've continued to try to push through all of the time. And if I would have held on to that fear of sharing myself in that way, there's no way I could play the queen of gospel music. So that's the one thing that I will continue to take with me now and live boldly in is let your gift make room for you in the dreams that you have for yourself.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy because Mahalia Jackson was such a confident woman and was very sure of herself. But I did notice when it was time to perform at Carnegie Hall, she filled her head with so much negative talk.
Mm-hmm.
And, with you being a working actress in Hollywood and a singer, which is pretty much the business of rejection,
Yes.
what advice can you offer to others to move beyond being your own worst critic when things may or may not go your way?
You're so right. Mahalia Jackson had her fears too. That's what made her human. And I've felt that same way multiple times in this industry where I've heard so many no's. And if I would have stopped at the first no or the 18th no, I would not be where I am. And so I would definitely say continue to keep thriving and continue to keep pushing anyway, because someone said to me, like, you always will have a no, but you'll never know if you get that yes unless you try. And that was like, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like some of us, we always like assume that, whatever we want is going to be a no, but you never know until you ask and try and put it out there. So that's what I would always continue to do. Fear is something that it's it'll get you. But it's so much greater when you can just defeat that beast, and you can just say, what, I'm not gonna let whatever I feel like I can't do overtake me, and to continue to like push through that leads to a door of more opportunities that will always be so much more fun to live than if you just decided to not try.
No, that is so true. I feel like sometimes when we talk ourselves out of opportunities before they even arise, you're like, you don't even know if you had the opportunity. Why are you automatically talking yourself out of it? And like you said, the story behind it, if you get that yes, is so much greater than, oh, I wish I would have tried. The worst they can tell you is no. And then, you just keep it pushing, keep it moving. And throughout the movie, Mahalia Jackson had a strong trust in God, naturally. And however, there were a few moments where she had doubts and questioned her faith. The hysterectomy, and even speaking about racism. Has there ever been a time when your faith was tested? And if so, how were you able to overcome it?
I think there were so many moments of Mahalia Jackson being tested in her faith, like you mentioned, civil rights, um, but also in her marriages. Like you also mentioned with becoming a woman, or dealing with woman issues of not being able to give birth, and there was a lot of stuff that she had to continue to stand firm on her belief that God was going to see her through. When it comes to me, I think getting to the point that I've gotten now, it took. I had this dream to play Mahalia since 2015, and that's 6 years ago. And so to see it come to light, that ain't nobody but God.
Right.
I just am so grateful that I get to play her, and there's been a lot of moments of not feeling enough, not feeling like I got it. But I'm just am grateful to know that my purpose is much greater than my self-doubt and fear. Like what I do, especially when I get it off of myself and I put it on to like my daughter or to young girls or even women that are stand beside me, or even to pay it forward to the women that came before me. When I put it on them and say, you know what, I got to do it for them, it makes it so much easier, because I think sometimes when I do things for myself, which I want to change that, of course, and I think I am, but when I do things for myself, sometimes you don't give 100%, but when it's for others, you do. So I'm just learning that I'm worth it. I'm worth standing in this moment and being proud to play Mahalia Jackson.
You dropped so many gems in that answer. just in terms of dealing with being the strong Black woman, or just being a strong person in general. Like you said, when it comes to others, you extend so much grace, but when it comes to yourself, the grace that you extend to yourself is very limited. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all sort of learning how to navigate the ebbs and flows throughout this journey of life, while extending grace to others, but also being able to extend that same amount of grace to ourselves. So, yes. And in 5 words or less, what do you want or hope viewers take away from this film?
5 words?
Only 5 words or less.
Hope, faith, joy, remembrance, and to stay resilient. Okay, that's like 7 words, but resilience.
For sure. I feel like those are good adjectives to describe it, for sure. And aside from Danielle Brooks, the artist, award-winning actress, and executive producer, can you tell us something people wouldn't know about you from a quick Google search?
That's a fun question.
Thank you.
Something that that's a really good question. What you wouldn't know about me from a Google search. Dang. I mean, I have some things. I'm trying to think like which one's the most interesting thing. I don't want to come off like I don't have nothing. I love to collect playbills. I love pictures. I'm very active, so I like to do like rock climbing and hiking, and I've done a Spartan race, which you can Google that, but like I love to like challenge myself to do things that people wouldn't expect me to do. So I guess that would be I think. I don't know. That's a really good question. I got to think about that though.
Thank you. But even like going back to the pictures, I recently started scrapbooking because I have boxes of pictures. When we used to, carry the digital cameras around, have to get them developed. Mm-hmm. And it's been very therapeutic for me, like going down memory lane. And it's also been therapeutic in, I wouldn't say a bad way, but just feeling those emotions again, whether it was a good time in my life, a bad time, or sort of like, oh, I miss that. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like pictures say 1,000 words. They truly do. Like there's so much you can find within a picture.
Yes, I had a friend. Her Hurricane Katrina, and all of their pictures were destroyed. And that was like the one thing that she said devastated her mom, was that they did not have any pictures to go back and look on. So now I'm like, let me get these pictures out these boxes and put them in actual books, because those are some great memories just to hold on to.
Definitely.
Yes. And outside of the limelight and your professional accomplishments, what brings you the greatest joy?
Oh, my daughter, my family. When my family is doing well, mentally, physically, spiritually, my fiance, my friends. It's been a very isolating time, and I think being an actor can be very lonely. Like, because you travel so much, and you meet this group of people, and then you leave them, and you meet another group of people, and you leave them, and so it can be difficult. But when all my family are together, my friends, everybody's just doing well, that brings me a lot of joy.
Good health, good wealth, family, happiness. That's what brings you happiness, for sure. Mm-hmm. And then this is actually my last question. So I know your schedule is jam-packed. So how do you practice self-care when time is hard to find in your day-to-day?
Yes, ma'am. So I have been walking like obsessively. Like even when I don't want to walk, like I walked yesterday, I did not want to walk but I ended up walking a little over 3 miles. So I think that's also just good. The endorphins get released, you just kind of get to walk off whatever's been brewing in your mind. So like that's been helpful to me. Um, and just I try, I'm not always good at it, but like I try to call at least 3 times out of the week somebody that I haven't talked to in a while. So like there's like my godmother or like my best friend Jeremy, or just I try to call somebody that I haven't talked to and just kind of check in. Um, that's always been like a healthy thing for I think both parties, to remind yourself that you loved and remind the ones you love that they loved.
For sure. Are you a texter or more of a caller?
Caller.
Oh.
I don't like, and I like speakerphone. I don't like the phone on my ear. So if you're around me, you probably will always hear my conversation because unless you tell me to get off speakerphone, I'm like this. I do not holding the phone to my ear.
Yeah. I'm more of a FaceTime person, and
I like the FaceTime.
So it's so many means, like, schedule a time if you want to FaceTime me. I'm that person. I'm not scheduling. I'm FaceTiming. So answer.
That's cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this, on all your success.
I can't wait for you to see it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a good one.